Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? I thought I'd come in early today. It's Sunday morning. It's freaking a little bit chilly today. Trying to see how to brighten the screen. It's very, very dark on my end. Just give me a second, guys. There you go. I think that's good. There we go. Me and Duke were outside. Look at the weather. It's like freaking cloudy. We had like a rain for 3 days, and today is like cloudy all day. The summer is almost over, actually. It's funny. It's we barely get any good sun. Anyways, hopefully you're good. So I had family visiting for 5 days. Now everybody's gone back to the city, and it's just me and Duke up here. Are you like on TikTok? I am not on TikTok right now. I'm not able to do live on TikTok because my account was banned and I lost like 300,000 people. So I started a new account and I have to hit at least 1,000 followers before I do live again on TikTok. So I'm not able to do any right now. So the only place I have right now is just here on YouTube. Trying to get to 1,000 followers again, but it's probably gonna take some time for my channel to be monetized. So as of now, it's just gonna be on here, and we'll see how it goes. Let's check on the chickens, see how they're doing. Oh yeah, they're doing good. We actually cleaned up the whole cage yesterday. And I just gotta put the top piece for the roof and should be good to go. Duke, leave that alone. Let's see if you got any eggs. Move. Leave that alone, please. Leave that alone. Come, let's see if you have any eggs. Oh yeah, we got one. We got an egg. There's only one of the chickens laying an egg. Duke, check it out. Smell it. Looks good. Let's put it inside. Come, let's go. So yeah, we got one of the hens. She's laying an egg every day. I think this is like the 4th day so far. And I think the other ones will start to lay probably within about 2 weeks or so. Once they hit like 24, I think 20 weeks or 24 weeks, that's when they start laying again. Well, not again, they'll start laying in general. So let's put this one inside. We got one egg at least. There we go. Let's make some coffee. What potato are you recording with? What do you mean, what potato am I recording with? You mean this thing here? That's not a potato. This is an egg. I just took it from the chicken coop. Let's make some coffee. So I know I did put the I've been having a lot of questions lately from a lot of individuals that they're doing the carnivore diet and they seem that their cholesterol's going up quite high. And I thought maybe I can cover some of these questions on the chat. How hard was it to pull that out? What do you mean how hard? I just so I'll wait till a few more people join, then we can probably discuss a little bit more in details, and I'll give you guys some ideas why this is happening with your carnivore intake, or pretty much just your cholesterol in general, if it's actually being going a bit higher than usual. Went is deep in its burn. If I cooked meat, will that oxidize or will it still give the same benefit? Well, the only reason I eat the beef raw because you're gonna have a better amino acid profile. You're gonna have less cholesterol oxidizing. You're gonna maintain most of your B vitamins because most of them are water soluble. And of course, you're gonna have better enzymes. Overall, eating it raw, you're gonna be more satiated than cooking it. The cooking method, it does oxidize the cholesterol, and that's a big thing. And that's why we end up kind of unbalancing or kind of dropping our let's say hormone levels or testosterone levels, because we get most of our testosterone from cholesterol, and if it's oxidized, that's not a good way. And that's why I tend to eat most of the meat. At least 80% of my diet is raw. That's the reason. Now, the other 20%, when I cook it, I try not to overcook it either, because you don't end up causing any toxins either, right? So you have to kind of decide on that. And or you could possibly make, the steak or the ground beef. When you cook it, don't overcook it. Keep it as rare as possible. Maybe just cook the outside, so if there's any type of bacteria, at least it kind of eliminates some of these bacterias. But at the end of the day, I'm not really worried about bacteria or anything like that, because our gut pH is roughly about 1.5 to 2.5. So technically, anything you eat, even if it's raw, is going to actually eliminate any pathogenic effect. Now, the only reason we end up having pathogens in our gut is because we end up causing slight disturbance within our pH. For example, if you like to drink coffee, coffee increases your pH higher than 2.5. And once your pH goes higher than 2.5, then you're going to actually allow pathogenic effect. So it's all about controlling that pH and keeping it between 1.5 and 2.5 max. There's no parasites in meat. There's no parasite to worry about food. Keep in mind, you have two different options. One thing is you have to check the source, make sure the source is quite clean. Once your meat is frozen for at least 14 days, it will actually kill and destroy any parasitic effect in the meat. And again, your gut pH, make sure it stays between 1.5 and 2.5 maximum. That's very, very crucial. If you're not able to maintain that proper pH, make sure you're taking hydrochloric acid, HCl betaine, to actually make sure your pH stays at 1.5. We have a gut, and we have an acidic gut as strong as a vulture. So technically, as a human, our gut can actually break down anything we consume that does contain any type of parasitic in it. So I've been eating carnivore for 11 years. I've been eating raw for probably close to about 7 to 8 years, and I have no issues in my gut. I have no issues with anything, just because I keep a very, very strong acidic gut. The only time, like I said, the only time your acidic is gonna actually increase higher than 2.5, only if you actually consume fruits, which is I don't. If you consume coffee, I do consume coffee. I know it's not a carnivore, but it's something that I enjoy because it does actually enhance your dopamine. You just gotta be careful because every time you drink coffee, your pH increases. And once your pH increases, then it creates an issue in your gut. So if you're taking hydrochloric acid after you consume your coffee, you can actually return your proper pH within probably an hour or two. Hey Marek, how are you? And it's in regards as well. A lot of people that actually follow like eating habits of cholesterol, eating habit of carnivore, they tend to see a high numbers of cholesterol. That's not a bad thing, but it means that your LDL receptors are damaged. And the problem is, it is reversible in certain individuals, and you can reverse it partially. But once they're actually broken, once they're actually damaged from a standard American diet over the years, or LDL receptors could be damaged from a heart attack, unfortunately, they're not fixable without certain supplementation. So even thought I do follow a carnivore diet doesn't mean that I can fix a receptors, LDL receptors. That means I will have to supplement to maintain these receptors active. Because if these receptors aren't active, you could be causing more harm than good to your body. And that's one thing nobody actually explains. Carnivore diet is not going to fix everything. It is going to actually stable your body and fix few things, but you partially have to kind of find out why these things are happening is because your LDL receptors are damaged. Good to hear from you, Marek. Sorry, I had family over. I had family over for almost about 5 to 7 days. My mom came and my brother and his kids. So it was nice to see them. They all left like 2 days ago. And of course, every time somebody comes, it's awesome having the family here. But when they leave, you almost kind of fall into like depression because everybody's gone and I'm back here, living alone again, which is fine. I'll get over it right away. And but yeah, what can you do? That's life. I'm taking 3 grams of taurine daily. How long before it lowers cholesterol? How long should I take it? Um, anytime you introduce a new supplement to your lifestyle, you will have to give it at least 90 days before you see a difference. And in that 90 days would be ideal to actually do a blood work to see how much and how effective it is. If in 90 days you got it done and you didn't see that much of an effect, that means taurine does work, but your body's not responding as it should to it. So then you would say, well, I could do the same thing with taking niacin, or I can do the same thing with taking red yeast rice or other things, right? So certain supplements will work right away for certain individuals based on our how well your body responds, and certain ones they don't. But it is good to kind of give your body at least a good 90 days before you change. That's very nice. I can imagine. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice having people over, to be honest with you, especially family. And that's why I'm kind of, hopefully for next season, I definitely want to build like a small guest cabin, to be honest with you, at least like a bedroom and a shower. So this way, you guys are more than welcome. If you get a chance to come up here and spend a week or 2 weeks, I think it'll be amazing. So that's my plan for next year, and I'm hoping I can get it done. Hopefully the cost is not too dramatic, and I can just build it and start inviting people because I think it'll be good. What does someone what does someone lose when cooking meat? What do you advise when cooking it if they can't have it raw? You will lose certain B vitamins, you will lose certain enzymes, you will cause a slight toxic effect. It's not a big deal. It's very minimal. It's very minimal. You will cause slight glycation when you actually brown the meat, like make it crispy and stuff. So it is good to kind of cook the surface, keep it as raw as possible so you maintain that. You maintain the enzymes, you maintain the B vitamins, you maintain the prevention of oxidizing your cholesterol. And that's how you should do it. And if you're ever gonna do it raw or eat it raw, it is best to actually keep it at room temperature for at least 6-7 hours. If you're just gonna take it out of the fridge and try to consume it raw, you're not gonna enjoy the flavor at all. So it has to be in room temperature for at least a good 7-8 hours. Usually I keep mine in room temperature overnight. But yesterday I actually forgot to take out meat from the freezer, so I'm gonna go take out some right now. I got some grass-fed beef stew, and I got some yak. So I'm gonna take one package out for me. I'll eat it raw later on. I'm gonna take out some for Duke because I haven't taken any meat for him yet. Sorry, we're just making the coffee. Just heating up my cup so I can make my coffee. But yeah, that's one of the reason I eat it raw, and I try to kind of. The whole idea is not because the problem is I'm a hyper responder. So as a hyper responder, we actually see dietary cholesterol does not raise your cholesterol, does not get oxidized. But if you are if you're a non-hyper responder, your body will absorb about 5 to 15% of your dietary cholesterol. If you're a hyper responder like me, we absorb up to 50% of the intake of cholesterol. So we tend to see our cholesterol goes up. So when I eat 10 eggs, even 10 eggs has about, say, 1,000 milligrams of cholesterol. My body will actually utilize about 500 milligrams of that. It's not a bad thing as long as your LDL receptors are working. If your LDL receptors are working, then it's going to clear that cholesterol and actually return it back to your liver for recycling. But if your LDL receptors aren't working, then that's how your LDL becomes, or your cholesterol becomes oxidized and could cause, issues with your arterial system. This is something that not a lot of people discuss, and I've seen a lot of carnivore dieters will say, well, hey, my cholesterol is 800 and 900 and I feel fine. Yes, you feel fine temporary, but long term it will actually affect you. That means your LDL receptors are not working. Because my cholesterol, when I do like a full carnivore and I actually eat all the fats, it does hit close to about 900. And that's the highest it's ever been, 975. That's the highest it's ever been. My girlfriend has genetically high cholesterol markers. We eat nearly carnivore Her markers skyrocket. Is she also a hyper responder? Yeah, she is hyper responder, and probably she has damaged LDL receptors. So we can fix that. One of the best thing to actually fix your LDL receptors is actually taking about 1500 milligrams of berberine. Hey, did you get your result calcifications ones? I haven't yet. No, I'm still working on that because I'm not back in the city yet, Matthew. But I got three patients who got theirs, and we've seen about 120 points in drops. Hold on a second, guys. Just gotta blend my coffee. Thank you. I watch your videos all the time. Keep spreading the good info. We live very rural with 40 goats, chickens, and greenhouses. We make our yogurt, cheese, etc. Any thoughts on BPC 157? That's awesome, man. That's awesome, Rooster. I would love to actually have my own goats. Maybe next year I would have like a goat and start drinking some good quality raw milk, or maybe make some kefir. That would be the best thing for your gut. Cheers to that. Um, that's really good, actually. I got my 6 chickens so far, so they're doing good. I got an egg every day, which is awesome. Any thoughts on BPC 157? If you want to do BPC 157, it is good to actually mix it with TB 500 for healing. For even it's really good for your heart, as well as really good for your tendons and especially your gut. But you gotta do a cycle of at least 6 to 8 weeks. Take a break for 2 weeks and do another cycle for 6 to 8 weeks and see how your body reacts. Because some people will actually notice a huge difference, some don't. I've only done the BBC 157 as injection with TB 500. I know there's capsules you can buy. I haven't really tested them yet, but give it a shot. Let me know. I'm switching between carnivore with statin or vegan plant-based without statin. I have genetic cholesterolemia. It's not a genetic cholesterolemia. What it is you're either a hyper responder or your LDL receptors are damaged. Carnivore diet still works. You just want to keep an eye on your LDL receptors to be working correctly. And the way you can check whether your LDL receptors are working, you check your ApoB and your ApoA1. And we're looking for a ratio of 0.7 or less. If you are 0.7 or higher, or like 0.8 or 0.9, that means your LDL receptors are damaged. Therefore, you have to add at least 1500 milligrams of berberine, or you can take Zitembi, I think it's called, 10 milligrams. That will actually increase your LDL receptors. Statins do not work if you have damaged LDL receptors, because statins, all they're doing is lowering your cholesterol, but they're not actually fixing or increasing your LDL receptors. So that's the way you have to do it. So you can go on carnivore diet, eat a little bit lean compared to eating high fat. Keep in mind, back in the days, if you go a million years ago when we consumed animal foods, we never consumed too much fat. Keep in mind, a lot of the wild animals are quite lean. The only fat we consumed was the bone marrow fats. So if you eat lean, you don't need statins, and your cholesterol does not go up from the fat. But if it does go up from the slight fat, you can actually add berberine to maintain your LDL receptors active. What's the science behind LDL receptors and berberine? Berberine will actually enhance your LDL receptors. It won't fix it. It will partially fix it, but the problem is once your LDL receptors are damaged, they're damaged for life. That's the problem. So there's berberine. There's a pharmaceutical product. You can take 10 milligrams a day, and that will actually increase your LDL receptors, much more effective than statins with almost no side effects. I can't remember the exact name. I have it on my phone. Let me see if I can give you guys the name of it. I'll probably be testing it just to see if there's any side effects, and I can kind of let you guys know what I think of it. Let me see if I have the name. Start with the letter Z. Also, thoughts on TRT therapy. Natural remedies like tribulus and ashwagandha do not help my low testosterone too much. They don't at all. Tribulus, tetris, all that stuff is old news. The same with ashwagandha. They don't help with testosterone. Testosterone is all controlled by your cholesterol. Your cholesterol produces testosterone. And one of the best way to actually increase your testosterone is eating eggs. But eating eggs at night and not overcooking or cooking the yolk at all. And that's how you get your good quality cholesterol. Your cholesterol gets regulated at night, and that's how you can actually increase your testosterone. But it's not just from food. There's other environmental factors that conflict with your testosterone. So if you're estrogen dominant, you're never going to actually increase your testosterone. Estrogen dominant happens because we consume everything in plastic. The clothes we wear is synthetic. That actually increases your estrogen dominant as well too. I'm trying to find the name of the product that actually increases LDL receptors. There is a pharmaceutical, but I'll give you guys the name either way. I have it on my notes. Start with the letter Z. Zintibi, I think it's called. Let me see if I have it somewhere written. Where is it? Where is it? Hopefully I can find it. Yeah, it's called Easy Timibi. I never heard of it before, so I gotta do some research on it. It's called Easy Timibi, 10 milligrams. And what happened is that actually increases your LDL receptors, so they're actually more functional. Do you have a video or an article? I was gonna make a video on it, but I am gonna write an article on the LDL receptors and I'll put it on Substack. And I might have to actually make it private on Substack because recently I've been putting some stuff on there, and some doctors and others don't like it that I'm giving that much information. And I don't want to lose Substack. I like it actually because I already lost TikTok. Are you against the? I am not against the RT at all, but I rather kind of do it naturally first to see how much we can increase it before I kind of consider, the TRT therapy. And like mine was in the low 300, now it's in the upper 700 just by adjusting a few things. Your number one is your environment. Your number two is the estrogen, taking calcium D-glucarate. All that stuff will flush out excess estrogen. Cold showers, or your sensors on your face, eating meat mostly, eggs, not overly cooking the yolk at all these will actually increase your TRT. So just try that out first for at least a good 6 months and see what happens. After that, if you're still kind of struggling, then go for it. Thoughts on BPC 157 and nasal intake? I have a complete rotator tear and they want to do a reversal. I'm trying to avoid surgery and build muscle instead. Thoughts? You can do the TB500. The only reason I did the TB500, the TB, sorry, 157 and TB500 is because I have a tear in my bicep. So I lost 25% of my bicep from the tear. I couldn't do anything for almost a year and a half. And I didn't really want to do the surgery because they actually drill a hole in the bone and they put a pin. They cut all the rest of the tendons and they pull them through a hole and they put a pin. And there's a chance that I could lose senses in my fingers and I won't feel anything. I won't feel pretty much, you would lose senses about 90% of it. That's the side effect of it, or maybe if it doesn't work. And so far, I've seen 3 of my friends get it done and none of them worked, and they all had to do the surgery twice. So I don't want to do that. So I end up doing the BPC 157, TB500. BPC 157 was 250 micrograms in the morning and at night, and TB500 was 2500 microgram every third day. And by the 6th week, the pain completely gone. And now I'm able to lift again with that same arm, the same way I used to lift years ago. The damage is still there. The 25% damage is there, but the 75% that is left is still quite strong and it's actually preventing any issues from happening. Is it gonna actually heal it completely? Probably not. It's not gonna heal it completely, but it is partially gonna heal it, but not completely. I had the surgery and PT ripped it. Yeah, it's gonna get damaged again. The surgeries are never successful. My brother did his shoulder with the rotator cuff 3 times, 3 surgeries, and still. Now it's his fourth time, and he doesn't want to do the surgery anymore because his shoulder, he's not able to lift his arm anymore or anything. So it's not really helping. So he's doing both right now, BPC 157, TB 500 as a mix. And he's doing a cycle 6 months on, 6 months off almost. Maca is not bad, but you have to be on it for at least 6 months. You start to notice a difference in about 110 days, 100 days, give or take. Maca is usually is good to kind of mix it with ashwagandha a little bit. Just you gotta cycle ashwagandha because it could cause damage to your liver. Um, I would do like maca with calcium D-glucarate. Does homemade kefir affect cholesterol? Affect cholesterol in what way? It shouldn't. If anything, it's just good bacteria that's gonna produce butyric acid in return, and it's gonna help the gut heal. And we do need some fermentation as well too in our food system. Thanks, man. Looking forward to your LDL article. By the way, how does LDL receptor get damaged in the first place? Insulin. There's 2 ways of getting damage LDL receptors. One is a heart attack, and the other is your insulin. You become insulin resistant, and as well, and your LDL is not responsive as good. But 90% of the time is mostly due to heart attacks, more than anything. More than anything, yeah. But of course, heart attacks are caused by insulin resistant, too much sugar in the diet, carbohydrates, and one of the most important thing, and I tend to see that with a lot of bodybuilders, is the amount of food we consume. Like imagine eating 5 meals a day, and technically our bodies was meant to actually go, well, they're meant to survive, and survival food, that means we should be eating like 1 meal a day, not like 5 meals a day to maintain muscle mass. We can maintain muscle mass, but we don't have to get to a point where overly big. BPC 157 good for recovery without injury for professional athlete. Does BPC want to help recovery performance marathon runners? It should. It should. It's all about recovery. It's all about maintaining good level of body. I'll have to kind of dig a little bit more deeper into it because I was looking more into it about injuries and stuff. But with BPC 157, it's like you're getting the proper, how can I say this? You're getting the proper peptides to allow your body to actually go into like a proper healing and proper recovery. So it should be good for marathon runners as well too. It's just, I don't know how good, it's just you put a lot of stress on the marathon runners without actually recovering correctly. Uh, Tangat LA is, if you're looking for testosterone boosts, I haven't really had a chance to test it out. I don't really test most of the stuff out just because my testosterone has been stable, quite good, based on what I do. It all comes down to your diet at the end of the day and your environment more than anything. You can take some supplementation. Supplementation do help, but they're never gonna really fix the root problem. What you eating nowadays? How many eggs daily? I still eat between 6 to 10 eggs daily. I kind of cut down right now, waiting to get some from my own chickens. So hopefully by next week I should start to have six a day. And when I get 6 a day, I'm gonna have to split it. So I give Duke 3 eggs and I eat myself the eggs because I don't want to buy any from the store anymore. But right now I still have about 6 boxes from the store that I buy, free range. I still consume about 6 minimum a day. I try to kind of keep the yolk as raw as possible. So a couple of studies saying kefir is associated with lower cholesterol in 4 to 8 weeks trials. I'll have to look into that to see. It's not about lowering cholesterol. It's about preventing your cholesterol from oxidizing. That's all it is. Like cholesterol, when your cholesterol is like 200, 300, 400, once it starts to reach any above 450 or higher, that's when we have to kind of question things. Why is it going above 450? Like mine got up to like almost 900 at some point, and that's when you have to question things and make sure your LDLs are working correctly. Tangali with maca, yeah, you can do that. And I would add the calcium D-glucarate as well too. I would take 3 as a combination and try it out for at least a good 90 days. Here, let's sit outside. I think the sun is coming out. Hopefully it comes out. Once it hits 10 a.m., I'll have to go down to town, and I'm gonna take Duke to the water, let him swim a bit, because he's been good lately, really good, right, Duke? Still half asleep. What's your daily exercise protocol? So you can see behind me, I have the X Factor. I do this as a workout. I have one of the chin-up machine. I don't know if you guys can see it right on the tree there. So I do a lot of chin-ups. So I try to kind of focus more on compound training. In the winter time, all I do is like 3 different exercises. I do chest, squats, and chin-ups. That's it. And in the summertime, I add a little bit more of bicep, triceps, and other things. But that's mostly what I've been doing. I'm not doing much of a heavy lifting. I do have my weights that on the bottom here. Like I got some Olympic weights coming in from the city. I have to kind of bring them here. I don't have everything yet here because I'm trying to build a small room so I can exercise. Because keep in mind as well, guys, specific HIIT training. I still have to go pick up my bike, so I'm going down in August to the city to pick up my bike and bring it here. You do need like a zone 2. You do need some HIIT training as well. That actually helps with LDL receptors. Maybe I'll do like a full protocol on the LDL receptors, what to eat, how to actually lower it with supplements, and how you can actually lower it with certain exercises as well too. I think that'd be good. Can Barley see you? What do you mean, can Barley see you? Can Barley see you? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Here, let's walk. We're getting a little bit of sun, but it's still so it's a little bit cooler today. Come here, Duke. No, I mean the signal is bad. I cannot see you clearly. Oh, I should have like full signal. It's showing that I have full signal. I hope you guys can see me. The only time I lose signal is if it gets like really, really cloudy and that mountain gets covered, then I lose the signal. Because on that mountain there's a small tower. Well, for some reason, every time I walk around with this phone, it's a brand new phone was given to me. It's funny, the signal cuts in and out. What state is that? I am in Canada, not in the US. Maybe Canada could become part of the USA one day, and we can get rid of our. Hey, can you guys hear me? I lost signal when I went down for some reason. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody. Maybe you guys give me. I lost you guys for like a second or so. Here, Duke, come up, up. Duke wants to sit beside me. There you go. That's the best thing to do. Let's sit, relax, enjoy the weather, me and Duke. What? Wait till 10 o'clock, we'll go. Say hi to everybody. Is jumping on a rebounder any good? Yeah, it's not bad on a trampoline. It increases oxygen flow at the cellular level, which is good. You know, doing that about 15 minutes every day, or at least 3 times a week. It is ideal. It's all about blood flow, right? Jumping on trampoline, doing isometric exercises, taking nitrate supplements. It's all about blood flow. Proper blood flow is gonna keep us alive and actually allow the body to heal, arteries to actually heal, and everything to actually function correctly. Right, Duke? You sleep good yesterday? You were up? Say hi to everybody. There. Do you have a protocol and an ebook for the exercises? I can create one. I can custom create one. But it depends on the exercise. Are you talking about the LDL receptor one for the exercises, or just in general? For the LDL one, I am actually gonna put it within the article. But if something in general you're looking for, I always gonna customize specific protocol for a lot of my patients and stuff. I love mid-distance running, been doing it for 45 plus years. On Carnivore, my endurance has really increased, resting heart rate down to mid 40s. Do you think it's okay to keep going with it? Oh, 100%. And cheers, thanks so much for the support to the channel, Brent. I really appreciate that. Me and Duke. Duke, come up here. But yeah, carnivore is gonna actually help you because it's gonna give you all the mineralization, all the vitamins your body needs, and it's gonna actually help you with recovery, which is really good. The nice thing about the resting heart rate, like my resting heart rate is between 44 and 46, which is incredible being on a carnivore. And I was doing a test for some of my patients. They wouldn't believe that, the carnivore will do that. So I did a carb load to kind of show them. And once I took the carb load in, the next day, my resting heart rate was between 56 and 59. I would never drop. It took almost about 36 hours to clear it from my system before I actually stabled again. So yeah, 100%. 100%, as long as you're eating at least, 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight to help with recovery and get the proper nutrients. That's all it needs. That's all you need. And to kind of, if you ever want to increase your gluconeogenesis as well too, because the liver still produces about 200 grams of carbs every day, glucose every day, especially when we eat proper intake of meat. Eating 0.5 grams per 1 pound of body weight will activate that. So yeah, 100%. Carnivore is going to help with that. It is your ultimate food intake. Hands down, it is going to be your number one. Then the other stuff like your berries or plant-based, all the other stuff, it is as a survival food, but it's not really an ideal way of actually eating. So especially if you're a quite active person, that's the only way you can recover. And once you start to introduce sometimes some raw meat into your diet, you're gonna notice even a much higher, and you're gonna be actually much more satiated. That said, hopefully I don't lose the signal. I have to go pick up a couple Let's go get a couple pounds from the freezer. Come here, dude. Come with me. Because I like to actually have it as room temperature. What supplements are good for the lungs and ensuring they don't have any effects on breathing? Lungs is it's all about NAC, and vitamin A is going to be your number one. So NAC is an amino acid, right? And vitamin A as well. You're going to get it quite a bit from liver. You need the retinol. So if you don't want to supplement, you can get it from eating good quality liver. It's going to be really good. But if you want to supplement, then you got to take NAC. And the way you take NAC, you have to go do 1200 milligrams, 3 days on, 2 days off. And your vitamin A, you need at least 10,000 international units as a combination. And that would be like your best way of actually for lungs capacity. But breathing, it is going to actually increase the volume and increase the capacity of your lungs. There's a small machine that I have. I think I might have showed it to you guys before. That's what I use for breathing technique, and it does work really, really good. What supplements are good? I'm trying to get some. There we go. So this is for Duke. He gets about 3 pounds. He eats a pound every day. He eats 1 pound every day with 3 eggs. That's Duke's meal every single day. So yeah, I buy him the meat from the store. This is mine. It's grass fed as well. We got 1 pound of stew, and we have some yak meat. So the only reason I eat yak meat is just it is a little bit leaner than back up, Duke, than your regular beef. So you only get about 5% fat in it. What's the machine called? Which machine? The machine that I actually train with it? The one I have here on the wall? Hold on, this one here behind me? This one? It's called X Factor. It's all rubber bands. They go from 60, 30, and 15. You can actually put them all together. Oh, the breathing machine. Hold on, let me get it. Let me show it to you. Because just put the meat down. Freaking cold. Where is it? Let me see. Just gonna check to see if I have it here, because I'm moving all the stuff around. Where is it? I know every company has a different name for it. It's a small device that I actually use. Of course, me finding it now. I do have it on my website. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's right in front of me. This is the one I use. You can buy it from Amazon for like, or you can buy it from the company for like, don't spend too much money on it. Duke, back up for a sec, please. You can buy it for about probably like $5-10, and you can actually adjust the strength of it. But yeah, that's what I've been using. Just as a generic device. Don't buy like anything. Should not be expensive. It shouldn't be no more than about $5-10. Doing it every day. Sometimes I actually put it on and I do the breathing technique while I'm actually exercising, so you can actually expand your lungs capacity as well too. It works really good. So whenever you guys drink coffee, one of the best thing to do is, because it does temper with your pH. So you have 2 things. You can either take a little bit of dried ginger, so you can actually bring your pH back to normal, or you can take the betaine hydrochloric. Now you gotta be careful if you're gonna take the betaine hydrochloric. Um, you might maybe take too much and causes a slight burning sensation in your chest. So sometimes it is better to just take the ginger would be ideal. I thought it was similar one patient who have pulmonary fibrosis have. Is that treatable? Yes, it is. Or isn't there a cure for that? It is treatable, yeah, 100%. But you'll have to add certain things like such as serapeptase and lumbrokinase as well too, to actually clear out any clots or any fibrin issues as well too. But yeah, it does work really good. You just have to add some supplementation, and you do have to kind of give it time so it's actually it clears things out. Keep in mind, like a lot of these things. So when I create a protocol for anybody, everybody asks me, well, how long does it take to actually fix or whatnot? Keep in mind, a lot of these things take years to develop. It doesn't just happen overnight. And once you start to apply the proper routine, the proper intake of food, the proper environment, the proper breathing, it could take probably close to about 12 months or more before we start to see like changes in percentage. It's all about consistency. And, you know, I have a lot of individuals, sometimes they take a supplement for a month or two. They say, well, I haven't felt any better yet. Like a month or two is not really an ideal timing. You have to kind of give it more time and you actually have to stay consistent to it. It's the same thing where anybody with heart disease, we know for a fact arterial calcifications or soft plaque, it can take anywhere between 10 to 30 years to develop. So it doesn't mean if we take one supplement, we can fix it within weeks. We can start the supplement, the lifestyle, everything, and it can take probably close to about 12 months before we start to see a percentage change, anywhere between 10 to 20% sometimes. So it's the same thing with any other diseases, but a lot of these things, they need a proper fasting. And one of the downfall everybody does is, hey, I'm fasting 15 hours, or hey, I'm fasting 18 hours. It's that number of fasting hours is okay, but it's not gonna actually heal or actually help fix or go into autophagy where we're clearing the debris out from our body tissue, from our tissues. So we need a minimum of 24 hours to activate. So eating one meal a day is good, but if you want something more powerful, the way I do it, like I'm gonna start again this year, is 72 hours on a weekly basis. And that's like the optimal healing. So all the other fasting stuff is not really ideal. It is good for weight loss, maybe, but not for actually reversing certain conditions. So whenever you want to attack something in specific, whether it's cardiovascular, whether it's lung issues, brain, autoimmune, you have to do a proper fasting with a proper intake of food. So everything as a combination. One thing could actually maybe fix 5% of the issue, but two things, now you're fixing maybe 10, 15% of the issues, or three things, now you're fixing everything as whole. So that's the way you have to look at it. And don't be afraid to do, a long-term fasting of 72 hours. You don't need more than that. You don't need a 5 day or a 10 days. All that stuff is bullshit. 3 days, that's the optimal level to actually increase stem cells, to actually enhance your HGH, and to actually allow the body to actually clean any excess debris. So everything plays in a proper combination and a proper protocol, and staying consistent, and timing everything correctly, because it's all about timing. So and the way I do the 72 hours, for example, when I apply it for my LDL receptors, as part of it is I do it from Tuesday lunch to Friday lunch. The only reason I picked that specific time, that's the time that actually we activate the most stem cells production. And because due to the proper frequency of these days, it actually allow the body to recover. So I go into a lot more depth than just doing, let's say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's specific timing to do everything. It's the same thing where we take vitamin K2 at night with dinner because that's when calcium gets regulated the most. So everything has specific timing. What would you say about some raw meat people saying salt is toxic because it's rock? No, we need salt. Salt is a crystal that we can thrive on it. Without salt, you can't live. Let's just put it that way. I'll give you an example. 2 days ago, I drove 9 hours back and forth to pick up some material for my chicken. So in 9 hours, I didn't drink no water or anything. The only thing I did was take 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt every hour or so. And that's how you keep your body hydrated correctly. Forget the toxic material and salt. Yes, everything has freaking heavy metals, but your body is capable of actually detoxifying these heavy metals. Everything, there's heavy metals in everything. We cannot run away from it. The chemtrails, everything right now we have access to contains heavy metals from other things. Sometimes naturally, sometimes from chemicals that we actually caused it. It's not toxic at all. I did no salt to actually show a proof. That was about 8 years ago. I did a no salt diet. It takes roughly about 45 days to actually detoxify your body from salt. And after that, I was constantly feeling fatigue, constantly getting irregular heartbeat, constantly not sleeping correctly, all that stuff. So we need salt. Salt is life. Let's just put it that way. You can actually thrive on salt without eating no food at all. Keep in mind, it will maintain your proper electrolytes. So salt being toxic, I think that's bullshit. Should women also do long fasting? I see more skeptical studies on it. Yeah, they need minimum 72 hours. There's just what happened is the refeeding days, they do have to add certain carbohydrates to actually prevent your thyroid from crashing. Is having Celtic salt bad for people who have diabetes? No, it's not. You need salt. Salt is not going to actually affect you. Like when we're talking sea salt, it should be fine. We do require it. There's only 33% of the population that they actually have sensitivity to salt. And the only way they can tell we have sensitivity to salt, only if we see an increase in their blood pressure or hypertension kind of thing levels. Like we're talking 140 over 90 plus. That's when we see there's a reaction to salt. But the only reason that happens because they're not getting enough potassium in their diet. But fasting will actually adjust that. So I hope that kind of answers most of you guys' questions, because a lot of the stuff that you hear about, a lot of influencers, a lot of people are talking without real evidence base, or they're probably checking a lot of the scientific literature. But sometimes you just have to do it yourself, and you can see how you feel. If you feel great on certain things, don't change just because one influencer said, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. Sodium salt mixing with potassium salt. Well, see, when you get your Celtic salt, for example, or trace minerals or other things, a lot of that stuff contains potassium, magnesium, contains sodium, chloride. It contains all the essential mineralization. So there's no really need to add potassium to your salt, and you're gonna get plenty of potassium from your eating habits. So if you're following a carnivore diet, we get plenty of potassium from our meats and our fish. Then we don't need to actually have an increase of 4,700 milligrams of potassium. That's 4,700 milligrams. That's more towards the standard American diet. If you actually follow a carnivore and you eat 1 pound of meat a day, 1 pound of meat has about 400 or 500 milligrams of potassium, and your body can thrive on that. Hi, which supplements did you say for pulmonary fibrosis again? So for that, I would start with the NAC and vitamin A as your first starting point. You can add lumbrokinase and serapeptase as well too. But we'll have to do a little bit more testing just to make sure. How often should we consume salt? Is once in the morning enough? No. As a morning front load, I mentioned it in many of my videos. Your morning front load is very important, where it's like 1/4 teaspoon to half a teaspoon. It depends how much you can handle. But throughout the day, you need plenty. I go through at least anywhere between 1/4 teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon, at least 5 to 6 times a day. That's how much I use sea salt, and that's with other than what salt I put on my food. So I do take quite a bit, and we do need that much to actually maintain proper, to be hydrated correctly, to have proper electrolyte balance, to have the energy we require. So we do need salt quite a bit. And keep in mind, so I take that much salt, and still my resting heart rate is in the low 40s. My blood pressure is always stable. Yeah, I've been seeing this guy on TikTok lately. He mainly eats raw meat, but says exercise is bad because it stresses your body and ages you, and says all vegetables are toxic. Exercise bad because it stresses your body? I disagree with that. And eating all raw meat, it is ideal. You do get your proper nutrients, everything balanced, which is good, but your body requires exercise. Our bodies were actually meant to move, not to sit idle and eat. Like, our bodies are meant to move because we used to be in a survival mode all the time. We're constantly moving, we're constantly doing things, we're constantly staying warm, we're cutting the wood, we're doing a lot of things. So if you're just gonna sit on your ass and do nothing and just eat raw meat, okay, you can probably survive, but you're not gonna really thrive as good. And vegetables, would they be toxic? Yeah, a lot of the vegetables contains anti-nutrients, and these anti-nutrients will deplete some of your vitamins and minerals. There's only less than 1% of vegetables that are edible. The rest of them, they actually have a lot of anti-nutrient effects. So you just have to be careful. Some people can thrive on them, some people can't. So you have to figure that out yourself. How much NAC when multikinase? NAC 1200 milligrams daily, probably twice a day, 3 days on, 2 days off. Lumbrokinase, you gotta take anywhere between 20 to 40 milligrams daily. How much MCT oil to have? What do you if it causes loose stool? So MCT oil, if you're starting, you should not consume no more than about 1/4 teaspoon per dose. As a starting. Once you get used to it, takes time, takes anywhere between 5 to 7 days, slowly 1/4 teaspoon every day. Then after 5 6 days, you actually go 1/4 teaspoon to like half a teaspoon, and you gradually increase. I take about a tablespoon, probably about 3 times a day, just because my body's used to it. Because if you actually take you take a half a teaspoon or a full teaspoon automatically, it will actually cause loose stool because your body's not used to it. It does have antibacterial, antifungal effect, and will actually cause you to have loose stool. So gradually work your way up. And if you can't, just stick with 1/4 teaspoon because the MCT8 is quite strong. And if you notice the MCT8 is quite strong, then get a mix of MCT8 and MCT10 together. Yeah, but the issues is a lot of people get confused, like what is good, what is bad, should they be vegan, should they be carnivore? These influences can make the people more confused. Oh, 100%, 100%. Like eat based on how you feel, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to listen to me or listen to a lot of other people saying, hey, be vegan or be that. I was a plant based eating for 8 years and it caused me a heart attack 11 years ago. So would I ever go back into vegan? Hell no, I will not. So 11 years ago, I started carnivore and I will never actually go back to anything else. I feel great. I eat about 2 pounds a day of meat. Sometimes I eat 1 pound um, and about probably 6 eggs a day, sometimes 10 eggs a day. The only reason it could be bad only if you have damaged LDL receptors. That's it. That's the only reason it's going to be bad. So if you're actually comparing plant-based or vegan eating compared to meat, you can take 1 pound of meat and the amount of nutrients it holds is almost like eating 5, 6, 7 pounds of vegetables. But the bioavailability, for example, when they tell you eat spinach to get your iron, well, your body is only going to absorb about 1 or 2% of the iron found in spinach, yet you eat a steak and your body will absorb 35% of the iron that is found in the steak. So that's what I'm talking about, bioavailability. So the whole idea is not to get anything fermented in your gut, because your gut is not like a ruminant where they actually allow food to actually ferment. You need animal protein, and that's why if you actually look at the studies, our gut pH is 1.5 to 2.5. That means we have a very acidic gut to actually break down protein. And that's the way you have to look at it. What water is best to have? I live in the UK, bottled or anything you can suggest. I would never touch anything that is bottled because that mimics estrogen. Plastic mimics estrogen. So it's better to get like spring water in glass. I know sometimes they fill them up in like plastic. So you'll have to end up taking calcium deglucarate to kind of flush out the excess estrogen levels. Or you can get a good quality filtration for your tap water and add maybe some minerals to it. When can I have zinc and copper? What is the method? They have to be at least a couple hours apart. Anything else for losing hair? Zinc and copper is going to be good. You just got to make sure the ratio is 7 to 1. So every time you take 7 milligrams of zinc, you have to take 1 milligram of copper. For losing hair, the only way you can fix it, not with copper, it has to be a peptide copper. Like we're talking the CHK copper peptide. That's the only way you can actually enhance it. And the loss of hair is usually calcification of the scalp. So if you have calcification of the scalp, you're going to lose hair. Calcification, that means you have too much calcium in your body that is actually preventing your follicles from getting the proper nutrients. And the best way to do that is you add boron to your diet and you actually add vitamin K2, MK7 at night so you can actually decalcify your scalp. It actually makes sense because they have been telling us to eat vegetables and not meat since we were kids, but it should be the opposite, 100%. If our pH is acidic as a vulture and the vulture all they consume is meat, why should we be consuming plant-based and fruits and trying to kind of alkalize and increase our pH above 2.5? Once you increase your pH above 2.5, you're going to cause a pathogenic effect. Where do I get the peptide from you mentioned? You have to look at it locally. It's called CHK. CHK something. CHK, that's the copper peptide you need. And the place you actually ingest it, well, you actually poke yourself in your fat tissue in your gut, it will sting a bit. You take boron and K2 at night. Boron, it comes from borax. That's where you get it from. You actually take 1/8 of a teaspoon, you mix it with 1 liter of water. And K2, you take it at night with dinner. And you need to take minimum 500 micrograms of K2, MK7. Now, some people, they like to do the MK4. It's 45,000 micrograms. You do that only temporary. But the MK4 only lasts about 4 hours in your body, half-life. The MK7 lasts about, close to about, I think it was 24 or 72 hours in our bodies. Duke, what are you doing? Calcification causes hair loss. DHT sensitivity complete bogus. Well, no. What happened is when you have calcification, it chokes the follicles, right? And what happened is when we get a test, we end up seeing DHT goes up because DHT is actually released in the body trying to actually because of the calcification. If you actually get rid of the calcification, the DHT drops. And what happened is a lot of the companies, what they do is they go after the DHT trying to actually reduce it because they say when you have high DHT, that's why you're losing hair. It's true, but that's happening because you have calcifications in your scalp. So get rid of calcification, DHT drops naturally. And a lot of people that actually like take steroids or bodybuilding supplements, they see high level of DHT and some of them they lose hair. It's not because of the DHT, it's because they have calcification that is causing DHT to actually go up. It's not bogus, it's just they both run together, but all kind of originate from calcification. RJ250, even the police couldn't catch him. I don't know. Can't wait for your hair loss. I think I think I wrote the article on hair loss on Substack because I had somebody ask me about it. I think I did already. I'll have to go back to Substack and search, but I think I did write it and I did have a protocol what to do. And that's why the DHT actually we have to control that, but it's all kind of controlled with the calcification, especially when you have your pineal calcified and that becomes an issue. And I think I did that's part of the hair loss as well too. And the only way we can get out of calcifications is vitamin K2 and boron. Boron plays a huge role, but you have to get boron from borax. You cannot just take boron by itself because it's freaking expensive and they only give us like 2 milligrams and our bodies needs at least 30 milligrams a day. So you can take a whole bottle. And yet, you know, you can buy yourself borax and it'll last you freaking almost like years. Subscribe to your Substack. Such a great, valuable info. And your ebooks are so wonderful. Thank you for helping all of us. You're only one I trust. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thanks so much for the support. But yeah, you guys, if you get a chance to kind of visit my Substack or even, you know, check out some of the ebooks, I've written lots. And I know I was writing a lot of ebooks, but now I've been putting everything on Substack, and I do have one for members and one for non-members because there's like some protocols. I don't really. I was sharing them for free, and some people were taking the protocols and reselling them. So that's why I made it as a subscribed only. And there's a lot of valuable information there, and everything is by protocols. I put with timing, with supplementation, what to do and everything. Share your contact info. Website got on this late, just found it. So if you go to like my main website would be stan.store/Maurice Daher, my full name. Then from there you can actually access my Substack, you can access my ebooks, you can access everything. Substack is an article place for influencers, for doctors, for lawyers, for everybody. And it is like an article written, but all the articles I write, they're all part of protocol. And they do have an app. You can actually download them. It's called Substack on the application for Android or Apple. You can download it and you can actually access all my articles. K2 with D3 enough or K2 separately? How much wouldn't it cause blood thinning? Not a whole lot. Blood thinning is very minimal in K2, but yes, D3 should be consumed during the daytime and K2 should be consumed at night. D3 does enhance your calcium, of course, when you take it only when you have proper magnesium. So D3 you take it, let's say at meal 1 or meal 2, and K2 because that's when your calcium gets regulated. That's when you want to have K2 MK7 to actually regulate your calcium. So this way, if you're taking D3 and you're not taking K2 to actually regulate your calcium, then your body could be producing calcium and actually just freely being floating around in your body somewhere, on your blood, in your arteries. So K2 is very, very important. And you can get it from food, of course. And magnesium, without magnesium, you're never going to be able to methylate everything correctly. So magnesium is very, very important, very important. It's probably, if you tell me, what is one supplement you would take for life and you'll never stop, would be magnesium. Because magnesium will control everything in your body, specifically calcium. See, the problem is we need like a good ratio of 1-to-1 calcium to magnesium, and the problem is our diets are almost 20-to-1. So they figured out a way how to actually break you without telling you how they're gonna break you. Is calcium is infused in all the foods we eat. If it's not calcium, it's vitamin D. And that's why we have blood pressure. That's why we have arterial calcification. That's how we have pineal calcifying and many other things. If they can control you, they can control your health, they can control your brain, they can control other things. So the more you're controlled, the more money they're making. The more money they're making, the sicker you are. They don't want anybody to heal. They don't want you to heal. Because if you're healing, they're never going to be able to make any money off you. So if you have hair loss, for example, it's $1 billion industry. They're going to sell you many chemicals and other things. Did you say you should take zinc and copper together? Not together. So for example, zinc, let's say you had your meal and you took zinc of 7 milligrams. Make sure at least 2 hours after you take your copper. Okay? Never take them together because they'll actually conflict. And zinc will destroy copper. So take your zinc, and the ratio has to be 7-to-1. So every 7 milligrams, you take 1 milligram of copper. Let's go see what Duke is doing while we're talking. Hopefully I don't lose the signal. Duke! And if you do not want to take copper, you can always take your zinc, let's say 7 milligrams of zinc, and you can drink copper in a copper cup. So every liter of drinking water from a copper cup, let's say, every liter will give you about 2 milligrams of copper. Yeah, you shouldn't take them together, Arya. Take them separately. Is creatine good at 55? If so, how much? Yes, creatine is excellent at any age. It's good for your cognitive, it's good for bone density, it's good for your mitochondria. Everything requires energy. Minimum, I did a video of how much creatine should be consumed based on body weight, but let's say if you want to use it for everything else, let's say for calcium, bone density, for cognitive enhancement, for mood, for muscle building, all that stuff, minimum 5 grams a day is ideal of creatine. It does not affect the kidneys at all. Creatine has nothing to do with your kidneys. Your creatinine, if your creatinine levels of your kidneys are going up, that's your filtration. It's not working. It's nothing to do with creatine. And if filtration stops working is because we actually ingest processed proteins such as whey, which you should never be consuming, or fructose, because it puts a lot of stress on the kidneys to be filtered. And that's why people end up having gout issues. It's not because of the meat, it's not because of the creatine, it's because of the fructose they consume. Does zinc copper have any side effect? There is no side effect. There is no side effect because your body is tightly regulates it. And zinc is good for your immune system. But for it to work for your immune system, you have to have vitamin C and vitamin D together. Duke, why is Duke throwing up today? Bile. Duke, what's the matter? I think he slept on the floor, probably got like a stomach issue. He's eating grass. This is the first time. Thanks, Maurice, you rock, brother. Cheers. Thank you, Rooster. Duke, you okay? Yeah, you're puking freaking bile. Why? Why? You didn't sleep good, did you? Come here. Come and get some. Come. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Duke, here, come with me. He threw up. I don't know why. Usually he sleeps beside me in the bed and he slept on the floor. I don't know if he got too cold. When the weather changes, that happens to him. Is that to pay? What do you mean to pay? Phlegm coming out, good or bad? Remedy doesn't come out a lot. Coming out. A remedy for phlegm is all about mucus, and mucus usually happens or increases its density is because sometimes we consume too much dairy. But if you want to get rid of the mucus or not, well, phlegm in general, NAC will do that. Will actually help you spit out more phlegm. It depends on the coloration whether phlegm is good or not. It depends on the coloration. You'll know whether you have an issue with a flu or parasite or not. If it's yellow or white is fine. If it's greenish, then we know there's an issue. Here, come and have a piece of meat because you're freaking throwing up bile. Come here. Sit. What's inside your ear? Wait. Here, have this. How much NAC and one, please? 1200 milligrams 3 times a day. So 1200, 1200, 1200. The empty stomach, every 3 to 4 hours. 2 days on, 3 days off. And in 2 days, see how you feel. If you feel good, you stop. If you don't, you repeat the cycle. Now, if it's really bad in the winter, let's say if you get a flu or you get sick, then you go 1200 milligrams 3 times a day, 2 days on, 1 day off. Then you repeat the cycle. If it's really bad, like say around COVID, when I was treating a lot of patients, we do like 1200 3 times a day, 2 days on, 1 day off. If it's minor, then we go 2 days on, 3 days off. Then we repeat and we stop. I heard Ruteri is good to get deep sleep. Is that true? I'm not sure. I have to look into it. I go into deep sleep. As long as you're getting 2 hours of deep sleep, that's good. Also good when having a cold. Yeah, 100%. I always keep NAC as an emergency. I don't use it every day. This is the one I get. It's powder, and I kind of adjust of how much I want to take. Why do dogs eat grass, chlorophyll? Well, what happens is if they feel... The only reason they eat grass is they're trying to actually, if they have a bug or they have something in their stomach, they actually eat the grass to actually throw up. And they throw it up sometimes, with bile. They create that and they actually end up throwing up. And that's usually they're trying to get rid of something from their gut. It's the same thing, let's say if you have a flu or something you don't feel like eating, you end up fasting. Digestive enzymes with meals or before. The meals on an empty stomach. Any eggs from your chicken yet, Maurice? Digestive enzymes right before you take your first bite would be ideal with hydrochloric acid. So you increase the acidity proper. You take the digestive enzymes right before you eat. Of course, on an empty stomach right before you take your first bite. So far I got 1 chicken. Is giving me 1 egg. So far it's been like that for the past 3-4 days. And it's funny, it's every other day I get 2 yolks in that egg, which is nice. The other chickens, the other 5, they haven't. I think they maybe in like a week or 2 weeks they'll hit like 20 weeks. And maybe we can start to have. Poor Dookie, you are going to be okay. You have the best dad. Cheers and thank you. Yeah, I'm giving him some dried meat because if he's throwing out bile, that means... So what happened is certain dogs, they end up throwing out bile, especially like right now, I was looking at the color, it's yellowish. And that usually happens because sometimes in the morning they get a treat and they get used to that treat at that specific time. And if you skip that treat, it's like their bodies almost recognize that they're supposed to actually have food at that time. So they end up throwing out bile. So if you kind of give him like a treat like this, I'll give him about 4 or 5. These are like a dried 100% beef. It will actually stable his bile and he'll be good. Because usually today was supposed to be fasting, but Duke just broke the fast. We're going to do a 72-hour fast moving forward. What are good supplements and diet you can advise to prevent aneurysm in the body. Um, I can draft out a protocol for you, but at least I would go full carnivore, and I would actually, it's all about anti-inflammation and changing the size or issues with aneurysm, for example. It depends, what stage you're at and etc. But supplementation will probably play a role in helping. But your first priority is the proper intake of diet, and yes, it will be like almost like an elimination diet. Do humans need to consume a small amount of glucose daily from animal blood or meat? I've heard the animal blood contains some glucose. Is there any nutritional significance to consume that glucose? You don't need to consume any glucose. Your body can actually, your liver produces glucose, probably close to about 200 grams daily. And once you're actually eating meat of 0.5 grams per 1 pound of body weight, you're going to activate the gluconeogenesis. So therefore, your body is going to produce its own glucose from the meat you eat. So is there necessary for you to drink blood or not? It is optional. You can definitely drink blood. It doesn't contain glucose. It does contains all the mineralizations, all your electrolytes and everything, and your body will produce based on that. But there's no point of having glucose. We don't thrive on glucose. It is maybe survival food if you have access to meat, but technically you don't need it. Best supplements for herniated discs and thorax. The only thing I would do is probably for that is magnesium to actually help with the relaxation. I don't have much information on that. I'll have to actually look into it a little bit more in depth, Rooster. And I can probably always write something on it or something in specific. But yeah, if you can get your hands on good, quality blood, you're gonna get blood from eating liver. Liver is gonna give you the ultimate levels of electrolytes, especially if you're eating it uncooked, which is perfect. Yesterday, me and Duke, we had beef tongue. That's my favorite now. I wish I have like a couple. I have to drive back to the city and pick up 1,200 pounds of meat, and I got about 6 tongues, so which is really good. Looking forward to it, actually. What? You want more? Come. What is the best remedy for headaches rather than for headache? Drink coffee. Coffee will get rid of the headache right away. And sometimes, you can have magnesium glycinate. The problem is with magnesium glycinate with the headache, because sometimes it's all tightness in your neck, is you have too much contraction, not enough relaxation. And the only reason we got too much contraction, not enough relaxation, because you're deficient in magnesium. And the only way you're deficient in magnesium, because you're looking at a level of 6 milligrams per deciliter, and you're probably at 4. Everybody's deficient in magnesium. That's the problem. Why take rice once per week, one on carnivore? How does it help your kidneys, sir? It's not going to affect the kidneys. Your GFR level stays good. The only reason we do a carb load once a week with white rice, because it has the least amount of anti-nutrient, but it boosts your glucose levels, so you can refuel your muscles, your energy, everything. Now, it is optional. Keep in mind, that is optional. And it's all about affordability, right? Because if certain individuals, they can't afford to eat 2 pounds of meat every day to activate the gluconeogenesis, for example, they say, well, you know what? I'm going to do a carb load once a week. It is cheaper form. I can have 2 cups of rice. I can boost my glucose levels, and I'm happy. Even let's say you're following 98% being carnivore and not 2% you're eating white rice once a week, it's still ideal, and it's not going to affect the kidneys at all. The only thing that actually affects the kidney when you actually consume fructose, not glucose. Fructose is heavy on the liver and is heavy to actually get filtered, and that's why we end up seeing issues with people having kidney filtration dropping. Best diet to heal gut and low stomach acid in young. Just go with the elimination diet, with carnivore diet, and it'll actually fix your gut acidity and increase your salt. You need salt to actually fix your acidity. Is it true drinking caffeine drops the blood flow to brain 40%? Does that include having too much or just one? It does drop, but it does cause a spike in dopamine, so that's why it makes you feel happy. But at the same time, it drops your blood flow to the brain. Yes, and that's why some people get fatigue or sometimes brain fog because of that. And especially not the first cup of coffee, not the second cup of coffee, your third cup of coffee. Usually, that's the one that causes it. So having two cups, two small shots is ideal. Having more, then yes, that's when we see the dramatic drop, and you will feel exhausted. You will feel like you're lightheaded, but you don't feel like doing nothing. And the only way you can actually get rid of that is automatically jumping on a bike, doing like some hit training or doing some type of movement for at least 10 minutes to actually increase that blood flow back to the brain. Oh yeah, it does that. Oh, I got a lot of message. Any cats owners? My outdoor cat bodyguard was trying to pass hairball, choking after one excursion hour. Crazy. That's why I get sleepy from coffee. And Andy, so having coffee is healthy. Well, Duke, enough. Last one, and that's it. He's like, let's go outside because he wants to stay eating here. Let's go. Let's go, Duke. Go outside. Out. So having coffee is healthy? No, well, having coffee could actually harm the body. It's not like really a healthy intake. Coffee has some downfall to it. Yes, it does actually. One of the most important downfall, like coffee is a yes and a no, but one of the most important thing what it does, it increases the stomach acid, and by increasing the stomach acid for hours, it could actually create pathogenic effect. Coffee in general, yes, it does spook your dopamine, it does make you feel happy and all that stuff, but it does have a downfall to your health, and that's by increasing your acid. What I mean by increasing, like your wait, Duke, no more. Sorry, I got cut off there for a second. Could our cravings for coffee be linked to an ancient need for adrenaline, like the kind we get during a hunt? Maybe caffeine stimulates a similar response. Um, the caffeine. Well, see, the problem is it is in a way. How can I say this? It's not addictive. Caffeine is not addictive. I can stop right now for a week and don't even feel it. You know why? Because I have enough magnesium in my body. Even though it does have a stimulant, but that stimulant does not affect us if you have enough what do you call it, magnesium in your body. As simple as that. Like right now, I had my coffee. I've had 2 cups today already. Uh, if I don't take any magnesium, oh yeah, I'll have like a very high craving that I need it, and I need it now to actually function. But that craving is lack of blood flow. It's not the caffeine you need, is your body, you require your body to produce proper nitric oxide. That's where you're feeling tired, this lack of blood flow. And it's like the same thing is like, when you feel hunger, is it real hunger or no? Most of the time, it's not real hunger. Once you start taking, you take some electrolytes or salt, your hunger is completely gone within 15 minutes, and it's not real hunger. And that's how you're able to fast like 3 days or 4 days, for example, because people mistakenly think hunger is hunger. That means you have to eat. No, same thing with this, with the craving. Is it really craving, or is it your body's telling you, hey, I require certain mineralization to recover? And what we end up doing is we end up going for more coffee. It's the same thing where people go on a standard American diet. They can't stop from eating. They feel hunger every 2 hours. Well, it's not really craving. It's just your body's missing some nutrient depletion. You just have to actually uh, re-fulfill that missing gap, and we end up eating another meal, a third meal, a fourth meal. A green tea is good because it does contain EGCG, especially matcha is going to be probably your best bet. The only thing is with matcha, I don't like the flavor, I don't like the taste. If I do, I would actually drink that, but unless somebody knows how to make it really good, then you have to put a lot of coconut creams and a whole bunch of other stuff, so not really ideal. Green tea is okay. It's not as strong as matcha green tea. How much salt did you say to have daily and how much each time? About 1/8 of a teaspoon to 1/4 of a teaspoon. Your front load in the morning should be very strong, should be a little bit more than usual because your body has been dehydrated all night and you lose so many ounces of water and salt because of your kidney flushes them out. So your front load in the morning is very important. And after that, I would have it 4 or 5 times throughout the day, about 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm probably gonna have some right now since usually I have it at least 15-20 minutes after my coffee. So let's have some right now, and you should. So there is my 1/4 teaspoon, give or take, and you don't need much. Like this is like the full 1/4 teaspoon roughly. And you don't need to drink water. Water is optional. But is it true will help lower, it will lower blood pressure? It will stable your electrolytes. Once you stable your electrolytes, your blood pressure will go back to normal. It's as simple as that. See, the problem is with magnesium glycinate, if you take it during the daytime, it's gonna put you in such a relaxation mood that sometimes you don't feel like doing stuff. Sometimes it makes you lazy. That's why it is good to take it at night, because magnesium glycinate at night, it cools down your heart, and that's why you fall asleep better. During the daytime, I would take magnesium citrate or magnesium malate because it kind of gives you a little bit energy. The malate. I recommend sometimes magnesium chloride because it does contain about 65% elemental. So if you can put a couple of drops of magnesium chloride in your water when you drink it, that's how you mineralize your water, and that's how you can get your ionic levels corrected, especially if your RBC magnesium is low. So during the daytime, you can go malate or ionic chloride, and at night you can do glycinate. Now, citrate is not bad if you have constant, like say, gut issues, because citrates will actually help the gut. But because of the citric acid in it, it does help kidneys. If you have issues with your kidneys, kidney stones, or others, the citrate will help. Have you heard of eye fluoros? Yes, improving or going away on a carnivore diet. What are your thoughts? Eye fluoros happen because lack of oxygen. But yeah, it does actually clear out on doing on a carnivore diet because you actually rebalance your blood flow. You're not eating anything that is causing glycation effect or insulin resistance. So that's why the eye fluoros will actually go back to normal. Now, when you are on a carnivore diet, I would highly increase taurine in the beginning on an empty stomach, because taurine is a heavy detoxifier and it helps detoxify any issues with your body. And it does actually, eye fluoros is actually a deficiency in taurine. See, taurine is heavily found in your ear, in your brain, heart, and eyes. And once you have an issue with any of these three, it's mostly a taurine deficiency. How long does it take to magnesium levels to saturate in the body? Oh, that's a big problem. Big problem. To give you an example, if you test your RBC magnesium and your levels are at 4 milligrams per deciliter, just to reach 6, because 6 is the optimal level. To go from 4 to 6, it could take you a year or sometimes a year and a half. It takes a long time at the cellular level because we heavily use magnesium and we do need it daily in our body. The problem is we need a constant supply of magnesium. We need at least intake of magnesium at least every 4 hours due to its half-life and its heavy usage. Like right now, me drinking coffee, I have lost magnesium. Me talking to you guys, I've lost magnesium. Me exercising, I'm losing magnesium. If you're on a carnivore diet, high protein intake, we overuse magnesium. I did a video of how much magnesium we burn every time we eat 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. So magnesium is heavily used. And magnesium is the only thing that should actually be consumed while you're actually fasting, even because we actually overuse it. Now, to speed up the process of going, let's say, from 4 milligrams per deciliter up to 6 milligrams per deciliter, then I would actually advise individuals to IV therapy of magnesium so you can actually increase your levels at the cellular level. Once you actually do IV therapy, at least probably like 3 sessions, after 90 days you check, and once you see your levels have gone up, then you can actually maintain it with supplementation. So this is very, very crucial and very, very important. I don't have access to IV therapy, so I take magnesium. I take anywhere between 800 to 1200 milligrams of magnesium daily. And I split them in about 4 doses, 5 doses. That's the only way I can maintain proper magnesium levels. Very, very important. Very, very important. Keep in mind, magnesium has about a couple hundred functions, enzymatic functions in the body. It's very, very important. And your second most important is your vitamin D. Well, vitamin D is a hormone, and it does the same thing. It has about 400 or 500 different functions in the body. So we need both to be actually good in our bodies. Magnesium, you need to have at least 6 milligrams per deciliter when you do the blood test, and vitamin D should be at least 80 nanograms per deciliter, not 40 or 30 or 60, 80. Vitamin D or D3 or both. Vitamin D3, especially during winter, less sun, 100% less sun, and we don't get it from food anymore. Will that show up in a blood test? Yeah, you have to actually ask the doctor to check for RBC magnesium, not serum. If you just put magnesium, they always gonna check serum, and serum is always normal. You have to check for RBC magnesium, and you need 6 milligrams per deciliter or higher. If you are in the US and the doctor is not going to get it done for you, you can actually order the test from Life Extension and get it done yourself and ship it back to the company. That's one option. Here in Canada, we can't, so we have to actually buy the test. I think it's about $60, but it'll tell us exactly what our levels are at. But yeah, you have to look for RBC magnesium, not serum. And for your vitamin D3 as well, make sure you actually are at least 80 nanograms per deciliter. So yesterday I had a patient, their levels were only 30. So what I do is I put them on 50,000 international units every day for 14 days. And after 14 days, we go back to based on body weight, which is 1,000 international unit per 25 pound of body weight. In the summertime and in the winter time is 1,500 international units per 25 pound of body weight. So that's how it should be done. Okay, I'm gonna stay on, guys, for another 15 minutes because it's coming up to 2 hours being with you guys here. And the pregnancy, is vitamin D good? Yeah, 100%. You need vitamin D and K2. And you need to actually get some folic acid, not folic acid, methylfolate. What is your opinion on PEMF therapy? I haven't really done much research on them. I know I have one of the patients, they actually, they bought the machine and they're doing it at home, the PEMF machine. Well, not the machine, the mat and stuff. But I haven't really done much research. A lot of this new technology, I haven't really done much research on them because I think sometimes they are a waste of money and waste of time, to be honest with you. Not a huge fan of a lot of these equipments. You know, back in the day, we never had access to a lot of these things and we thrived normally and we actually had nice longevity and less pain. Now we're actually using machines to actually feel better. For what? What other supplements are good in pregnancy? Taurine. Taurine is good. Detoxifier. Your B complex, you need it. Your magnesium, your vitamin D. And I would actually add nitrates, all about vasodilation and getting the proper nutrients. So when I talk about nitrates, it's not so much about just vasodilation. It actually, when you vasodilate everything, you actually increase the intake of a lot of the vitamins and minerals. What other supplements? Any advice for SIBO? SIBO is all about your gut pH, and that's the only reason you have SIBO is because your gut pH is constantly being out of balance. Fix that. Fix your diet. Fix your diet and fix the pH. That's the two things you need. And you can actually take some supplementation such as zinc carnosine, DGL, digestive enzymes, hydrochloric acid, so you can actually speed up the process and actually heal your gut correctly. But I would stick to 100% carnivore, lean in the starting phase before you add any fats, because fats are not going to be absorbed correctly when you have the issue. It's getting chilly actually. Gonna stay for a few more minutes, guys, and we'll call it a day, because I'm gonna take Duke to town today. They open in like 10 minutes, I think, at 10 a.m. and got some stuff. Hopefully it doesn't rain so we can do some work outside. I have a lot of firewood to put away. I end up buying 2 cores yesterday. You spoke about pulmonary fibrosis before. Unfortunately, many have died cause of that. Tim, I'll write the full protocol on that. Maybe send me a message as a reminder. I can write a full protocol on it, and a detoxification process and how you can actually fix things and prevent, further damage or death. Last question. I'm recovering from a leaky gut. Lost my sleep, guts improving. What do you recommend to help with my sleep? One of the best things you can do is at night is ashwagandha with L-theanine about probably 20 minutes before you're sleeping. And right before you sleep, I would take 3 grams of glycine with warm water, mix it and sip on it, and go to sleep. Within about 5 minutes, it's gonna hit you, and you should actually go into deep sleep. And you should not wake up in the middle of the night at all. It should actually allow you to sleep through the night. If that doesn't help, then I would actually add cherry tart extract down the road. Can you just tell us about your Substack and how to subscribe and what it includes, please? Wouldn't mind subscribing. So when you go to Substack, it does contain a lot of written articles and a lot of written protocols. Now, with the protocols, you're gonna find step-by-step guidance of what supplementation to take from what time to what time for a specific disease or specific issues. And sometimes I get requests from customers or patients that they cannot afford hundreds of dollars worth of protocols, that I will write the protocol and put it there in general. So I do post at least daily of an article. Some articles are free for everybody to read, but most of the articles I actually spend a lot of time and I design, I put everything in depth and everything in detail. So you're gonna get access to that, and you can get access to actually commenting. You can actually send me a direct message by subscribing, but there'll be a daily info. And if you actually go back, I've already have about 280 articles written. Probably about 75% of them are private for my members only. On top of that, the members will get audio information on specific things I speak about as well too. So there's a lot of good valuable information on there, and everything is broken down and simplified, and the protocols are massive. They're not like a page, they're like almost 10, 11 pages, where I recommend everybody printing some of these protocols and actually going through them. It's 38 degrees here. Enjoy your Sunday with your handsome Duke. Cheers, Sander. Thanks so much. You do the same, and I hope you're having an awesome summer so far. My heart is racing uncontrollably. Second day on carnivore. Detoxification process. Nice. So your body's going through a detoxification, but sometimes if it races too much, it's electrolyte imbalances, specifically magnesium. So if you're not taking any magnesium, Wade, you're causing more imbalance more than anything. And make sure the meat is good quality, does not contain any toxins or anything like that. And it depends how you're cooking it and stuff. But yeah, it's your body is shifting, but you're throwing off your electrolytes, specifically magnesium and your salt. And that's why whenever you feel your heart racing and you feel it, like you feel it in your neck, sometimes that's the potassium is going out of balance. The citrate, magnesium citrate is okay. It does focuses on the gut more than anything. It would be a good start, but you'll have to take your magnesium every 4 hours. It's very, very crucial because magnesium has a very, very short life. Is it bad if salt comes in plastic, transferred to glass? Like I said, we are all becoming estrogen dominant because of the heavily used of plastic. So if you actually are worried and stuff, one of the best things you can do is just take calcium D-glucarate at least, a few months out of the year to flush out excess estrogen. We cannot really run away from estrogen. It's everywhere. It's mimicking everywhere. Synthetic clothing, the socks we wear, the plastic we have around us, the air we breathe. So no matter what, we still have to do the calcium D-glucarate to actually to flush out the excess estrogen. Do you know why glycine makes me feel very hungry and cold? It's supposed to make you cold because it mimics what glycogen does. When it makes you cold, technically you're supposed to take it and fall asleep. You're not supposed to take it during the daytime at all, because yes, it will cause a hunger feeling because it throws off sometimes your electrolyte levels. Other things to flush out estrogen, there's DIM, D-I-M. D-I-M is good, and calcium D-glucarate, either or both. And it's really highly recommended for a lot of people with cancer, because the only reason they actually have cancer is because they're more estrogen dominant and they never really flush out the excess. How much to take and how many times a day? The calcium space D-glucarate. You take 1,000 milligrams meal 2, 1,000 milligrams meal. Sorry, you're supposed to take 1,000 milligrams twice a day with food. Let's just put it that way. And at least you do it for at least 6 months. Minimum 6 months a year. That would be ideal. Okay, 5 more minutes, guys, and we're gonna take off, me and Duke. Oops, Duke, wait, I know we're gonna go soon. 5 minutes, you ready? Yeah, I know. Tell these guys I'm ready to go. Okay. Where do you wanna go? You wanna go swim in the water? Yeah, I'll take you swimming. We'll go down for a nice ride. Thank you, Maurice. You're a legend, mate. Cheers. Thanks so much. Thank you for you guys' support as well. What? Can an injection fraction go up from 15% to 30, 40 in 3 months? Yeah, it will go up. I cannot say, say 30 to 40%, but it will definitely go up by at least 15, 20%. Carnivore on its own, no, it's not going to help it. You need the supplementation. You probably partially cause some kind of defect in your ejection fraction, and carnivore is not going to fix everything like everybody claims. Go on carnivore and fixes. It will fix certain things, but you still need supplementation, and your most important supplementation for ejection fraction is the ribose and creatine and L-carnitine and coenzyme Q10. Now you can get coenzyme Q10 from eating like beef heart. You can get L-carnitine from that as well too, but you do need some D-ribose. D-ribose is gonna be your like backbone of your mitochondria, and that's why your mitochondria is failing, and it's failing your ejection fraction. I did a video on that, so definitely follow the combination of the supplementation. But yeah, carnivore diet will help because you're not getting any more anti-nutrient effect. You're not kind of causing any glycation or anything with the heart. Now your body can actually focus and actually start healing your ejection fraction. But yeah, you can see at least a good 20, 15, 20% increase in 3 months. Within a year, you can see a full 40, 50% recovery. Nice doggo you have. Thank you. Oh, my German Shepherd. Duke, come here. Come and say hi. Here, there he comes. Come, 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 come. You wanna go soon? Yeah, we'll go soon. You wanna go to town and swim? Should we videotape you swimming and send it to everybody? Yeah. It's 10 o'clock. They're gonna open in 4 minutes and we can go and buy some coffee. We'll drive to town, spend the day there and come back. And we'll do some work. We need to kind of put all the wood away for the wood stove. We got lots. We got about 2 cords. Come here, Duke. Come. Let me see. How you feeling? You feeling better? Okay, sit. Have a seat. Talk to everybody. Say, I'll see you guys after. Look, say hi to everybody. What should we tell them? That's great news to hear. Thank you. I will follow that to the T, D-ribose, L-carnitine. Yeah, follow it. D-ribose is very, very important. Make sure if you're gonna buy D-ribose, look for the ingredients in the back. It should say on it, there's only one company that actually has a patent designed by Bioenergy. That's the one you want, Bioenergy. Any advice if someone has had a cesarean, previously I'm pregnant again, would like the natural way? Send me a message. I'll send you some more detailed. I can see this guy really blowing up. I hope so. I've been talking a lot of information and stuff, and people still don't recognize it. But I think once my book comes out next year, it's gonna be fully about carnivore actually and heart disease. So I'm putting all together. After 11 years doing carnivore, I have a lot of valuable information to share with everybody, and I think there's a lot of missing information out there, especially when it comes down to your LDL receptors and all that. So that book is gonna be like an eye opening to a lot of things, and carnivore is gonna be the way to eat. The other foods, it is for survival purposes, but not to have on a daily basis, because the more you're sick, the more big corporations are gonna benefit off you. And when you're not a sick individual, pretty much these guys can go bankruptcy, and that's the whole idea. So I have cooked meat. I'm still benefiting from meat, right? Oh yeah, 100% Tim, you are. You might be losing a little bit on the nutrient side, which is fine, but that's so minuscule, right? It's so minuscule. So yeah, you're still benefiting 100%. 100%. You don't have to eat raw like I do most of the time. Some days I eat raw, some days I want to cook the meat, right? It just depends how I feel. I don't force myself to eat it raw every day. And that's why I said, I do eat at least 80% of my meat raw for a reason. But when it comes down to organs such as, let's say, beef tongue, I like to cook the beef tongue. I like it way better being cooked. Liver, I like to eat it raw. Kidneys, I'm not a huge fan of kidneys anymore. I don't like them as good. Pancreas, I'm not a huge fan. Eggs, I eat the egg yolk raw. The egg white I cook because our bodies aren't designed to actually absorb egg white raw at all. So there's certain things I cook, certain things I eat raw. So cooked meat and eggs, avocado, etc. is probably the closest to early human diet. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Meat, eggs, avocado, good quality fat in the avocado. You got the monounsaturated fats. It's not bad. It works good. Just make sure it's not discolored and it's organic. Make sure it's not coming from anybody, the source is very, very important. So stuff like that is good. Olives are good. You can actually include that in your carnivore. I know some people say, well, it's not strict carnivore. What is strict carnivore? Who came up with the freaking rules and regulations, right? Like, if you're 75% meat eating, you're considered being a carnivore. Coconut oil, yeah, 100%. Some people like coconut, some people like ghee instead, some people like grass-fed butter. Uh, it's just be careful that your LDL receptors are good. The only way you can tell if your LDL receptors are damaged, only if your cholesterol is kind of going higher than 450, 500, then we'll have to look at a little bit closer. So we keep an eye, like for example, Wade, maybe keep an eye on your ApoB and ApoA1. So make sure that your LDL receptors are working fine. And as well, whether you're a hyper responder or not. Hyper responder, you would be in like a single digit body fat like me, for example, all year long. That means you're a hyper responder. So this way you have to kind of figure out how much fat can you consume. Oh no, that sounds amazing. I'm doing carnivore for health, and to that I think having some fruits, etc., and small veggies, I think it's is a smarter way possible to preserve longevity. 100% longevity, and it's all about how many meals a day you eat. Longevity is all about how many meals a day, whether one or two meals. Longevity is how much fasting you do once a week. Doesn't have to be daily. That's where longevity is. Longevity be optimized. There's some people they say, well, I want to have a long longevity. It's all about being able to stand on your feet till you hit 100 years old and not allowing anybody to take care of you, not being on a freaking wheelchair or in bed where you have somebody looking after you for the last 15 years of your life. Longevity is staying strong till the last freaking minute. We all actually age. Is age a disease? Possibly. But the thing is, it's the food that got us to age that way and actually have diseases. It's the abundance of food. If you go back million years ago, it was all about survival. Survival, it doesn't mean eating 6 meals a day. It doesn't mean eating 5 meals a day. Survival means eating one meal a day or maybe one meal every other day. It's not eating 2, 3 times a day to maintain large muscle groups and others. Our body is capable of tightly regulating all that. And if you want to prevent, muscle loss and all that, that's where some supplementation comes, such as creatine or HMB, for example. We get enough leucine in our diet because leucine is the mTOR activation, right? You either switch it on or switch it off at 3 grams, and you can get 70 grams of leucine when you eat 1 pound of meat. So all that stuff is all kind of, you have to decide how you want to, tackle it. But yeah, it's all about staying healthy and staying strong. Don't use food as entertainment. Use it to actually feel optimized and feeling good. And that's it. Maybe you want to use food for entertainment once a year when you're with family or Christmas, just for the one day. But other than that, use it to actually stay optimized. Familiar hypercholesterolemia, where liver has half the numbers of receptor sites, have to be careful, and especially if older. Yeah, the hyper responder hypercholesterolemia is all because of the LDL receptors. The problem is with the hypercholesterolemia or hyper responder, that's what it comes down with. That's when we look at dietary cholesterol. So a normal person can eat 1,000 milligrams of dietary cholesterol and does not affect their cholesterol, while hypercholesterolemia or hyperresponder, they can eat 1,000 milligrams of cholesterol, and we could actually absorb 50% of that cholesterol, and we tend to see like high cholesterol numbers, and that's when we have to kind of be careful of our LDL receptors and look into that, and we got to make sure they're functioning correctly. Also, Maurice, how do I keep my BNP levels down? The cause is CHF. The BNP goes up because of the intake of your protein, but it's whether it's affecting your GFR levels or not. And is it affecting your creatinine and your F2 isoprostane levels or not? So I would actually get them checked. So get your blood checked. It would actually say F2 hyphen isoprostane / creatinine. That's one test, and you can check your GFR level. And that's how you can actually see how your body's doing, whether we need to worry about it or not. But sometimes it depends on the diet you're on. That's usually caused by sometimes fructose. It's not being filtered correctly, or anti-nutrients such as too much oxalates in the diet. And keep in mind, the problem is with oxalates, it takes anywhere between 3 to 8 years to be flushed out from the body. That's a long time. And seed oils takes almost close to about 2.5 years to be flushed out from the body. Creatinine is fine, GFR is 80s. I'm on carnivore. Yeah, you're good. Creatinine is good, GFR is good. You're good. You're good then. Hey Gozan, how are you? I was about to leave and you came. I've been on here for like 2 hours because Duke is waiting. We're gonna be heading out to town. You ready to go? Okay. You ready? You wanna go now? Then we can jump in the water. I know you missed it, Gozan, but once I hit end on the video, that's gonna be like almost 2 hours and 10 minutes of recording. Okay, guys, I do have to get going. I know I'm getting a lot of questions. How about you guys post these questions on the video, please? Seriously, like I really don't want to have much time anymore because I do have to get going. And I got like 3 questions. Midwest, Happy, and Android. You guys, if you post these 3 questions on the video, when I come back, more than happy to respond in regards to the BNP, in regards to the study about the eggs, and in regards to the picolinate chromium. I'll definitely answer them. So post them as a question and we'll go from there. In the meantime, I do have to get going. Duke has been waiting for me. You guys have an amazing Sunday. If this goes well, maybe I should start doing one every Sunday for 2 hours or so. I think that would be my free time. And because of the weather, I know it's getting rainy soon, but I want to get some things done because I only go to town once a week. So you guys take care and we'll touch base. Cheers.